right, we are going to practice stippling with paint. So you should have a worksheet that looks like this. You are going to get some of the paint that is on the counter. Please remember, I would turn the bottles toward the wall in case they are clogged, they don't explode on your clothes. And put out a minimal amount because you're really not going to need a lot for this. Even when you're doing a project, you can always go back and get more. I put down a piece of wax paper. This is actually kind of a big piece of wax paper. You can go a lot smaller. And I just put it on a tray. There's also the egg containers and the ice trays that you can use. I recommend sharing at your tables because you don't need one container for every single person. And you can feel free to clean out any of the paint trays that you need to and dry them before putting in more paint. But I went ahead and did the wax paper. And so now I'm going to take a dowel. The dowels are also on the back counter. Please don't throw these away. You do not need water for this. You can just grab a paper towel and wipe off the end between colors when you're working on your project. For mine, I'm probably not going to clean the dowel in between. I'm just going to kind of go for it. So I want to create values on here, and I kind of want to blend colors. I don't just want to dot in one color. It's not very interesting. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start light and go dark. So I'm going to grab some white and I'm just dotting the color in. So I'm going to start like this, dot, dot, dot. And then I'm going to grab my next color when I'm ready to. So I'm going to start light. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my next color. And I'm going to kind of dot that into the white that I already put there. And eventually I'm going to fade to the next color. I'm going to do a bit of yellow. You can see there's some color coming off from the dowel because it already had paint on it. And that might happen. And then once I get the yellow to about where I want it, and I'm kind of creating like a little bit of a curve with this, then I'm going to start to include the green, and I'm going to go right on top of the yellow. And eventually I'm going to fade all the way to green. I'm going to do a little bit of yellow and green mix there. You're going to get a really cool texture from this technique, so it won't just look like it's been painted. You're going to do the stippling across the entire artwork. I do know some people also wanted to add some hatching into theirs. I would say do the painting steps first, and then you could always go in if you decide you want to do some actual like pen shading. I do have some pens you can use if you wanted to add some hatching or cross hatching into your final image. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the whole circle. Once I do that, once you finish that, please show me so I can make sure you kind of got the idea of what you're doing. And again, you're trying not to, we don't want it to look like just white, yellow, green, which mine looks a little bit like that. I can work to blend that in a little bit more, kind of pull some more of that yellow, because I want it to be kind of a gradual transition from one color into the next. All right, so I would just finish this, show it to me, and then once you are cleared to move forward, you're going to be starting your image. I'm going to move that out of the way, pretend I finished. I almost was. I'm going to go ahead and start my image. So you're either going to choose your own image and send it to me, or you're going to get an image from the front table. Most of them are animals. I chose a landscape that I had. I could probably draw this out onto my final paper, but you can also transfer it if you want. If you're transferring, you're going to use a 6B graphite pencil. And you're going to come in and you're going to put 6B over anywhere that you want to transfer the information. So I really just need like kind of where this is and this area so I can transfer it. So I'm just going to scribble on the back here. The reason you're doing this is because this graphite, the stuff inside this pencil, is going to transfer onto your final paper, allowing you to kind of have your drawing already made for you. Your focus in this project is using value through stippling. So your focus isn't really on drawing for this project. So if you don't feel comfortable drawing it all out, you don't have to. But if it is an easier image like the one I'm doing, I could just go ahead and draw out what I want. Big, bold images are suggested, too tiny, and you'll really struggle with stippling them, at least with paint. Okay, so I've got the image scribbled. Now I'm going to come over here. Probably you want to use a little piece of tape to hold it down. I don't have a piece of tape next to me, so I'm just going to place it. And then I'm going to make sure I hold it down, and I'm going to start to use a pencil. Doesn't matter what. This is just about the pressure of the pencil pushing the graphite. And this tree's pretty small, so I'm going to keep it kind of less detailed because it's going to be stippled in anyway. I'm going to hold this and check if it's transferring, which it is. And then I'm just going to put in the important information. Now, a lot of the images will be a lot more detailed than this, especially if you're choosing something like an animal or person. Make sure you get any information you're going to need from your image onto it. I'm going to go ahead and map in some of these different value changes because that's what's going to make this image interesting. And these ridges are really close together. And I don't think I can do that with the paint, so I'm going to just spread them out and just do a few instead of all of them. Okay, so that's really all the information I need from this image. So that's what I've got. Then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to go ahead and draw it in so I make sure I don't lose that image. That's where the dark is going to go. Really dark. And use your reference image. If my shading is very light in here, go very light in there and go very dark here. Choose the colors you want to do. My sky is very light down here and very dark up here. So I would probably come in with darker blues, fade into lighter blues. Depending on what color I want to do my ground, I was thinking possibly greens. I would go in lighters, and maybe I'd even do like dark green or even a blackish color here. Lighter green fading to a darker green. So make sure you're showing value when you get a grade for this. I will be looking for 1, did you use stippling properly? 2, did you use value, which is going to be super important. And remember, value is the darkness or lightness of a color. All right, I'm going to start adding stippling to my image, and we'll see where we get.